Hello, my name's Andrea, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make jollof rice. Clement from the Stroke Association will be joining me today.
Hello everyone, hi Andrea. So jollof rice is one of those recipes with lots of different stories about where it originated. But UNESCO has officially recognized Senegal as the origin of this dish. It's popular in a lot of West African countries. Depending on the country, the recipes and the variations differ. So it's a very popular dish in Ghana, Nigeria, and of course Senegal.
This is going to be a vegan-friendly recipe, although you can make this with prawns, chicken, beef or other meat. It's a great dish for you when you have a bit of time to cook, maybe on a Sunday or when you have people around. The prep time for this recipe takes between 15 to 20 minutes. It will then cook for just under an hour. There's quite a few ingredients in this recipe. We'll be using oil. We'll be using rice, of course. We've got two types of rice on the table here today. We've got brown and white. White rice is the traditional rice to use in this recipe. We've got Scotch Bonnet peppers, also traditional.
Yep.
But if you don't like Scotch Bonnets, you can use chili pepper instead. We've also been using tomatoes. We've got tinned here and fresh and pureed tomatoes. We won't be using the fresh tomato today. We've got onions, peppers, garlic and ginger, and also stock cubes as well.
Brilliant.
We've also been using some herbs. Today we'll be using thyme.
Okay. And I can see we're using the low salt variety of our stock cubes today.
Which is important.
Brilliant, because I know jollof rice has lots of, people like it with lots of salt, lots of pepper and oil. And yes, where we can cut that out, that would be great.
Exactly.
So what equipment do we need to prepare this recipe?
Lots of different equipment. We've got a pot, chopping boards, knives, a jug, spoons, measuring cups for the rice, a bowl, and a stick blender. Reason we're using a stick blender, just in case you have problems holding things in your hands because dexterity and losing that dexterity in your hands.
And so I've got one of these special chopping boards which are really useful if you have got limited mobility or just the use of one side, one arm.
So I'm going to begin with washing the rice. The reason I wash the rice is because rice can be quite starchy.
Okay.
So when you cook it, it sticks together. So I'm going to show you what I mean. As you can see, as you start to wash the rice, the water becomes quite milky. So I'm going to wash this rice until the water becomes clear. If you're a little bit scared that you're going to tip your rice out the bowl, you could actually do this in a sieve. The reason I'm doing it like this, because it shows you just how starchy the rice is. So Clement, to start this dish we have to prepare our vegetables. So we're going to chop our onion and our peppers, ginger and the garlic. It can be roughly chopped, it doesn't have to be nicely chopped. So if I can actually do the onion for me.
I'll do the onion. And I'm going to use this chopping board. So I'm simply going to pop this on here on the spikes. I guess if you're not feeling strong enough to push it all the way down, as long as it's holding it steady, you can do it that way. And the knife, holding it in a natural position. I'm going to put the points down there and kind of use a kind of guillotine method on it. So as I bring the knife down, I can chop straight through the onion like so. And then I can use my less dominant hand to just hold the chopping board down on that side. I'm just going to start using the same methods to chop away here. And I don't need to chop this very finely, do I?
No.
Okay, so and I'll do the same on this side. I'll say this is the first time I've used this, so it
You're
might
doing
take a bit
really
of getting
well.
used to.
You're doing really well.
Thank you. As it's all going in a blender, I guess it's I don't really have to do the kind of
No.
cordon bleu type of chopping here, yes.
You don't want to chop it too much as well because you may get tired.
That's true.
So this is a really nice recipe because things don't have to be even because they are going to be blended.
Okay. So that's the onions done. You going to do the garlic?
I am. I've prepared my garlic. I took the skin off. I'm going to leave them whole because they are going to be blended, so I don't need to chop them up.
Okay.
So we're just going to put everything into the pink bowl there.
Okay. Yep, got all the onions in now.
I'm going to prepare the pepper, so you don't have to use a knife too much. I'm just going to cut around the stalk and pull the stalk out. Whoop. Bang the seeds out and just tear it apart.
All right. So you don't need to use a knife to scrape the seeds out of it
Nope.
at all?
If you have got problems holding a knife, this is a great one, okay? If I could get you to chop some of this for me,
Okay.
Clement. In fact, I'm going to give it all to you.
All right.
The reason being, we've got our ginger here, and most people peel ginger with a knife. If your hands are not very strong, use your good hand for the spoon, and you can just scrape the skin off. It's much easier, and you're not wasting too much ginger by doing this.
And it feels like you're not going to get cut by a sharp knife. 'Cause
Exactly,
I tend
it's
to
much
peel it.
safer. Right, that's beautifully done, Clement.
Okay.
And I've finished scraping the skin off the ginger. I'm just going to cut it a little bit. Again, it doesn't have to be too small because it will be blended.
Brilliant.
Okay,
So I think we've got almost everything we need
we do.
blending. How about the Scotch bonnet? Would you like me to attempt
Yes,
that?
please. You're braver than me. I'll let you choose the size you want to use.
Okay, I've got a nice big one here. So since you say I'm brave, we'll go
Yeah,
for
you
the
are brave.
large one. The Scotch bonnet, make sure you wash your hands after you handle this. And if you do have gloves, I would advise using gloves. I'm just taking the stalk off. Some people put this into the dish whole, I believe.
Yeah, they do.
Others might want to get rid of the seeds. So I'm just going to roughly chop it. I'll just take some of the seeds out, we'll leave some in for that spice. And yes, definitely wash your hands. So the rough chunks into the bowl.
Wonderful. I'll let you wash your hands. We've got the fresh thyme here, so I'm just going to break some off. I'm going to put plenty in because it is all about flavour. Just pop that in.
Okay.
Now we want our mixture to be wet, so I'm going to use the tinned tomatoes in this. So would you like to pop that in for us,
Okay.
please, Clement?
No problem.
Okay. We could put the pureed tomatoes in now if you want.
Okay.
I'm going to measure this, or you can be freehand because there's no salt in this, so it's up to you.
Yeah, let's measure it.
Measure it? Okay. I'm going to put 2 of these in because it's quite concentrated pureed tomatoes.
Okay.
Thank you. We've decided to keep the dish quite traditional, so we're not going to use the curry powder today.
I'm for all that.
Okay.
Yeah, traditional works for me.
Okay. So all that's left to do now is to blend our ingredients in our bowl.
Okay, so I'm just going to make sure I've got that right down inside so I don't splash everywhere. looks about right. Consistency seems to be good. Okay, all blended.
Thank you. So the next thing we need to do is start to cook our sauce off.
Yep.
We're going to use some oil. I know traditionally this dish uses a lot of oil,
Oh, yes,
but we're going to measure it because we want to keep it as healthy as possible. We're going to use 2 tablespoons in this dish.
There we go.
Thank you.
So do we have to heat it up first before
We do.
Yeah.
Classic way to find out if our oil is hot enough, what we could do is get a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of our sauce and just wait for it to sizzle.
Okay.
Okay?
Great tip.
Because we want our oil to be as hot as possible
Okay.
before we put the rest of the contents into the pan.
I start to hear a sizzle there.
Yep. So I'm not going to pour it from a height because it'll splash my face.
You don't want that.
I'm
especially
gonna-
with Scotch bonnet. Yes.
Lower it into the pan. Smell those peppers. I'm going to
Yeah.
turn this up a little bit more and let that cook off just a tiny bit
Okay.
so the oil gets blended in with the sauce. So is this a dish you cook a lot at home?
Well, I do eat a lot of it at home, but yeah, I don't consider myself a jollof rice expert. I actually cook it, so it's good to know. There's a lot of things in this dish that traditionally will be unhealthy. I even hear some people cook this with palm oil, which it's never happened to me. So
No.
it's good to get this kind of tips on using low stock cubes.
Yeah.
Because I think another traditional thing that comes in jollof rice is the use of some of these seasoning cubes and MSG, which is just really not good for you.
No, because of the salt content.
Yeah.
That's why we're going for the alternative, a low salt stock cube. Okay, so that's all blended together.
Okay.
So we could start putting our rice in.
It's looking good.
It is, and it's bubbling away nicely.
I guess probably because of the thickness of it, that's probably why you do want to cover it so it doesn't splash all over the place.
Exactly. Because you don't want this splashing into your eyes because of
Pepper.
the peppers.
Yes.
Clement, these Scotch bonnets are starting to get to my eyes. Would you like
Let
to
me-
stir
yeah,
this
sure.
for me, please?
I'll take that
Thank
from
you.
All right. So what are we going to add to it now?
So what we're going to add to it now is some water. Now in the recipe it tells you to use 1.25 litres. We've soaked this rice in water, so it's been soaking and getting soft already. So I'm not going to add too much water, or else it'll end up looking like rice pudding.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And I think that might be enough.
300, 400 mil?
Yes,
Yep.
we can always add a little bit more water. We can't take it out. We can add.
Okay. And I think this is like one of those kind of recipes where slow cooking actually allows you to, if it reduces, you get more flavour in the rice anyway.
Exactly,
So you can always
exactly.
reduce the water down.
I'm now going to add our low salt stock cube. I'm only adding one
Okay.
because remember we've got lots of flavours from all the herbs and spices and the peppers that we've added to
Yeah,
this dish
I can smell
already.
it.
So we don't need a lot of salt.
I guess we don't need to stir this. Well, once we've got all the ingredients, once you've stirred the ingredients in, we can just
Cover
leave it
it,
now?
yeah.
Cover it?
But make sure that you stir that stock cube in.
Oh,
There's
yes.
not big chunks left in there. Okay?
Yeah, that looks, oh, I found one. There we go.
And stirring it also helps the rice not stick to the bottom of the pan.
Yeah,
Okay?
brilliant.
Wonderful.
We're going to just cover that.
Cover it and we just leave it on a simmer.
So we're just
Right.
going to check it now.
Yes, that looks lovely.
Okay.
Just make sure it's not sticking to the bottom. Just move your rice around gently. Don't break it up.
Okay.
Clement, should we have a look and see if it's cooked?
Yes. Why not?
Okay.
smells good.
It smells good, it looks good. It seems to be a little bit sticky. It's not traditionally like this, is it?
No, you do get some party jollof rice that has this consistency, but generally, I think because we used white rice and it was soaked already, and the amount of liquid we had in it, if we'd reduced it further, it might look a bit more traditional.
Yeah.
And if we'd used brown rice as well, I think with a longer cooking time,
Yeah.
then yeah.
Definitely.
But let's see.
Okay, let's give it a taste.
Never had ginger before in my jollof rice, so that tastes really good. I think I might actually start giving that a try. How about you?
That's a bit spicy for me. Excuse me, I'm just going to get some milk.
Okay. Well, and that's our jollof rice. So let us know in the comments if you have any questions, if you've tried it out yourself. And please like our video and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more dishes like this.